He's got the whole world in his hands. Hold on! He's got the whole world in his hands. Come on, motherfucker!
Where the hell are we?
Looks like we're in the middle of nowhere.
Well, ladies, I'd say we're in the middle of Maryland. How on earth do you know that? Geography, bitches.
Huh?
And besides the fact, I saw a sign back there that said Burkittsville. I don't care where we are. I'm going home to see my daughter. Not so fast, Poe. You ain't going anywhere.
Si, where the hell did you get a gun?
Don't you worry about that, Swamp Thing. All you need to worry about is finding some firewood, because it's going to get dark out in these woods real soon.
I'm gonna blow your nuts off, asshole!
No! Hello, this is Merkin. The flame what? Where? Alright, I'll be there. I'll be gone in 60 seconds. You know, Poe, you've proven to be a useful mammal. Many hands make light work. My daddy taught me that. You know what my daddy taught me? How to fuck a goat.
Yo, man. Can I take a shit?
Alright, boys. We got a long day ahead of us. If we want to get out of these woods. So one of you both get a little bit of shut-eye.
Alright, boss.
Casey? Casey Poe, is that you? Honey? Is that you? Honey? Casey! I'm coming, sweet girl. Casey! Casey! Hello?
Bo! Bo, where are you? I kicked the fucking map in the river.
think he went in this old house. All right, go. Poe! All right. Swamp Thing, you go downstairs. I'm going to check upstairs. Poe, where are you at? I hear him. Poe, where are you? I can hear him. I can hear him. Poe, are you up here? He's downstairs. He's downstairs. Swamp Thing! He's down here. He's downstairs. He's downstairs. Swamp Thing! Swamp Thing! Swamp Thing, where? Swamp Thing, what are you doing? What's in the box? Chuck Nasty? Is he even on the plane? What the hell is this? Poe, you're alive.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Where are the other two?
Those boys went in that house and they never came out.
House? What house? There ain't no properties around here for miles and miles. Do you have any idea where you're at? This is Burkittsville. You didn't hear about them 3 kids that went missing 25 years ago? Like they just fell off the face of the earth?
Merkin, I'm just trying to go home and see my little girl.
All right then, Poe. Let's get you home. All right then, Poe. Let's get you home.
Know what, Merkin?
What's that, Poe?
Now there's 2 people I trust, and you still ain't one of them. Who's the dummy now?
Give me the gun, Poe! Give me the gun! Yeah! Give me the damn thing!
Get off me! Give me the gun! Give me the gun, dummy! Give me the gun, dummy! Give me the gun!
Joke's on you. Casey Poe been dead for 3 years.
I love me some witch pussy.
Open up now.
Oh, there we go. Woo! Happy Halloween!
Oh, Jesus. That was awesome, guys. That was fucking cool as shit. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. The Nixon mask was great. That was cool. That was good.
Oh, man, that was so much fun.
Yes, we do hope you enjoyed it, watching us act like idiots. But we do hope you thought it was fun, because we had a lot of fun doing that. We do every year. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Video Store Clerks Halloween special. We are your clerks for the evening. I'm Dave.
Chadman.
Mike.
Chuck Nasty.
And joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he is a Splatterpunk award-winning author. He has all kinds of works. It's never ending. The link to those works will be in the description. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the store, Mr. Ryan Harding.
What's up, man?
Welcome.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Welcome to the store.
Very special night. We got a Halloween candy.
Ooh,
I'm in a weird mood.
He is in a weird mood.
Isn't that always the thing?
Lots of comments in the chat here during our premiere.
Oh, let's take a look here.
Dan misses his video, Store Clerks.
There you go. We miss you.
Have to come over.
That worked really well, by the way.
Right?
Yeah, it did.
Terrifying.
I really love the clue, the clue reference there. That was awesome. That made me really happy.
I figured you'd pop for that.
Oh yeah, I was
Thanks, Paul.
cheesing on that one.
Paul over at the Scene Snobs. Check them out. We were a little bit ago.
Total.
Very
awesome.
Thank you, everyone.
Smash from the Scene Snobs.
I would smash. My man. We should be proud. Smash.
Axe and smash, demolition.
All right, so tonight, Halloween special, in case you haven't figured it out, we will be talking about the Blair Witch Project. 25 years, man. Wow, that is crazy. But we'll be going into that. We'll be having a lot of fun. We kicked it off pretty good. We kicked it off just right. But we will start the program, as we always do, with the news.
But tell me, this isn't some of the most beautiful scenery
you have ever seen. Is I tried to buzz the tower at WDRB, but they did not give me clearance. Not you again.
You know what the skeleton says on Halloween?
Again, what's that?
Cricker Creek!
Oh, wow.
Dude, what are you doing? He got me with the joke. I'm left speechless, and then whammy. I'm exposed. I'm exposed, ladies and gentlemen. I'm exposed.
Wow. That was something.
All right, sexual harassment.
Yeah, right. I wonder if he kept his job or not.
Starting things off, we start with the top 10. Top 10 list. These are your top 10 domestic box office totals over this past weekend. What do we got?
Well, things are falling off a little bit.
Nobody went to the movies?
Not really. The bottom three are only in the 100,000s. Pretty rough. So number 10, we got Transformers 1 bringing in $740K, putting its 6-week stretch to $58 million. And number 9, Piece by Piece, only doing $753K. But in its 3-week time period, it's brought in $8.9 mil. Number 8 is Nora. Huh?
I'm telling you, if Piece by Piece would have been a horror movie, it would have been much better.
It's probably out there.
One day.
Number 8 is Nora, only bringing in $909,000.
Anuha?
And yes.
Moana?
2 weeks, $1.6 million. Oh, yeah. Number 7, Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice still hanging on the top 10, doing $3.1 mil this week, with his 8-week stretch going up to $89 million.
Hanging around.
Hanging around. It sucked. Number 6, Terrifier 3. 4.7 mil. 3 weeks, 44.5. Breaking all kinds of indie records. Gotta love it. No, Mike did. Number 5, We Live in Time, doing 4.8 million, bringing in 11.8 for the past 3 weeks.
It's been there 3 weeks. I
have no idea what the fucking movie's
yeah,
about.
I don't know what that is.
Number 4 is Conclave. First weekend out, did $6.5 million.
What was that
Number
about again?
3,
Con who?
Conclave?
The Con Air Witch Project?
Con Air Witch Project.
We just
No,
watched
that'll be in the top
Great movie. Brought in $37.
in a row?
Yes. Number 8 is The Wild Robot. 6.8 mil this week, doing 112 in the last 5 weeks. Number 2 is Chuck's favorite, Smile 2.
There you go.
9.5 mil this week, doing 40.7 the last 2.
Yeah, Smile 2. No, not my favorite at all. Fuck that movie.
And who would have guessed it? Number 1, Venom: The Last Dance, pulling in $51 million opening weekend.
That's still not so good.
I've yet to see the last one.
The last few movies that's been out, not too shabby.
I don't know. I think it's ran its course.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think the second one turned people off. But anyway. In other news, we have some sad news to report on this fun evening. Actress Terry Garr passed away this afternoon. The star of Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein, who earned an Oscar nomination for a role in Tootsie, passed away at age 79. I believe after a long battle with multiple sclerosis.
Yeah.
Long battle.
No bueno.
I think she was diagnosed in the early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Inga. She was in Dumb and Dumber too. She was the mom.
And Dumb and Dumber 2?
No, Dumb and Dumber also. Not Dumb and Dumber 2. The first Dumb and Dumber film. She was, what's her face's mom?
Wonder when the next one's going to come out, just entitled Dumb Fucks.
Dumb Fucks.
What?
What?
That'd be great. I'd watch it.
Yeah.
I think we're starring in it right now, probably.
Right?
And yeah, so not a lot of news tonight, but we'll just hurry up and get through this. So we'll get to our main event. Finally, we talked last week about the Secret Predator movie, as
we'll have a new Predator movie, Predator Badlands, coming to theaters in late 2025, November, I believe. But there was a secret Predator movie on tap, and the rumor is it will in fact be an animated anthology film.
Let me guess, Predator Bloodlines.
Oh God, I hope not. Don't call it that. Don't call your movie Bloodline, dude. You're fucked.
How many times are we gonna drudge up this Bloodline stuff?
Because it's fucking hilarious that people are that stupid to keep naming their fucking movies that.
The new Blair Witch, Bloodlines.
By Blumhouse. Blumlines.
And finally, the secret Predator film will follow 3 stories of predators fighting warriors in different eras. They could include samurais and pirates.
The fuck you talking about, Michael?
Arr! Oh, Great White, come to the Bahamas, Michael. Get off your lazy ass, Michael.
I'm canceled now. Thanks, guys. It's been fun.
You're one ugly motherfucker.
Okay, that's it for the news. Who cares about that other stuff?
I loved hearing yes. She was great.
My ladies, let's watch Young Frankenstein together.
We might have to do that.
Frankenstein.
Actually, I'll talk about that later because
that's great. Tonight's main event. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying we're going to save Young Frankenstein for another night because we got a special double feature planned for that one. Woohoo! That'll be good.
It will be good.
And tonight's main event is, of course, the Blair Witch Project. 25 years of the Blair Witch Project.
It's been a long time.
We were all around for it, right? We were all around for the release of this movie when it came out.
Saw it in theaters.
Yep, same.
Opening weekend.
All kinds of compliments today.
Thank you. Type 1 negative month.
I'm getting all the love tonight.
Fuck yeah.
You younger folks, I don't think appreciate this movie a lot. I think people that see it for the first time nowadays are just kind of like, meh. But that's what we're going to do here tonight. We're going to enlighten the internet as to the history of this film, The Blair Witch Project. Man, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. Transylvania 65000. Oh my God.
That'd be a good double feature, but no.
No, like I remember, did everybody see this movie in the theater when it came out?
Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah. Brian, did you see it in the theater?
I think me, Dave, and Mike went together.
Maybe.
I was warned ahead of time from everybody saying that that saw it before me, saying oh, you're gonna get dizzy, and because there's a lot of running and I didn't get dizzy as so much as I just got annoyed. But I mean, I don't know. But it was a weird experience because you've never seen a movie like that in theaters before,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's kind of considered like the first found footage film, right?
I don't know about that.
Well, Cannibal Holocaust.
Cannibal Holocaust. And I think there was another one.
Yeah, there's been a few, but
nothing nearly as big as this.
Yeah,
no.
Can you imagine that? Fucking
the McPherson tape.
Oh yeah,
that might be it. Yeah.
Can you imagine being in Italy and fucking seeing the screening of Cannibal Holocaust?
Yeah, no shit.
It's a different time.
Well, it was weird seeing a movie like this in theaters because where it is found footage, and they did great with the promoting this shit.
The marketing.
Marketing was genius.
They had because they wouldn't allow the 3 actors, Heather, Josh, and
Mike.
Go figure. I forget that one. Yeah. They had the whole thing was they couldn't be in public for however so long after the movie was out.
Yep.
And everybody was like, "Oh, this is real shit," or whatever. It was great because when you're watching, you're like, "Oh, this is somebody's real events and whatever." And even though you still have in the back of your mind, this is bullshit, but it was kind of cool the idea of it. And I remember when they those 3 showed up on the Video Music Awards, or no, it was the Movie Awards, maybe the MTV Movie Awards. And they showed up on there. And I remember all my friends, I kept telling everybody, I was like, it's not real. There's no fucking way this is real. They wouldn't just let this be on in America, in theaters. And they came out and everything. And honestly, they should have just left it alone. They could have kept running with that forever, because a lot of people believed it was real. And up until a couple of years ago, a lot of people who I know who I didn't realize thought that it was real this whole time didn't realize that it wasn't real. And that boggles my fucking mind, honestly. But I'm still kind of on the fence about it. But it was a different experience, like seeing it like in theaters. What did you all feel about like when you saw it in theaters?
Well, that was the thing. Like, okay, most people, I think, if you saw that opening weekend, I think the majority of people thought it was real. And it's not like you go in and you're watching it and you think, oh, this is like some kind of supernatural. Like, you're not sitting there thinking like a fucking real witch is getting these people. You're thinking, oh, these people really disappeared in Maryland's woods. And this is the footage, and we don't know what happened to them. So, you never see anything. So you could assume that there was some crazy fuck out in the woods that got these people. It wasn't like, oh, you have to completely think that there's a witch out there or whatever. That just kind of added to the experience. Some people might be like, oh yeah, there was a witch, but it was more viable that these people just went out in the woods and somebody attacked them without their knowledge, knowing that this person's out in the woods. So I think that added the element to it. And it's the thing we've talked about in other shows where if you saw that weekend and you believed that it was real, your experience is always going to be completely different than anybody going forward in history. Because, you can go online. You can go online, Google it right now, look at reviews of Blair Witch. People are like, oh, this sucks. It wasn't scary at all. The acting's bad. Blah, say blah, and that's fine. That if that's your experience, that's your experience. But to be alive in 1999 and see it and kind of feel real,
yeah,
that was a cool experience, and I got to give it props for that.
Yeah,
it was the first film that really utilized the internet to promote the movie. And probably didn't cost them anything to do so. I mean, social media wasn't even a thing yet. No. AOL was the big thing. Chat rooms, email. That's really all people were doing back then. I hate saying that.
Isn't that weird?
Way back when.
Way back when.
It was like the first viral video. It's like an hour and a half long viral video.
And
yeah.
Because when you went to go see it, it's especially the ending. The ending at when the movie cut to black. It was a full house in the theater, and you could have heard a pin drop in that theater when it went to black.
Yeah, as soon as she they turned the corner and you saw the guy in the corner, you just heard the whole theater gasp.
Yeah,
and then boom, and it's like, oh my god, what did we just see? Because, like I said, you don't see any creature, you don't see any witch. It's all in your imagination, and you never see anything happen to these people. They just disappear. So, it could be anything.
We all just sat there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no over-the-top blood and gore. There's no creature. And it's just, I mean, aside from budgetary reasons, that's what would really happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
If, in the acting, I believed them.
Everybody thought that shit was real when it came up.
I believed all of it.
As much snot that was coming out of that woman's face. Who can fake so much snot? I mean, that's
fucking. I always just think of scary movie and start laughing.
Right. Ryan, did you say you saw it opening weekend as well?
Yes. Yeah, I saw it in the theater opening weekend. I remember there was a really long line for it that you don't typically see nowadays. So it was a phenomenon.
Yeah. And was your experience similar to us, or did you kind of know going in that it was just fake
bullshit?
Yeah, I was aware it was a movie. I didn't think it was real. I think our theater, people were generally underwhelmed and irritated by the movie. I think when it was over and the fade to black, I think people were more just like, that was it,
Yeah. Sure. That's actually how it was in my hometown too. There was everybody was kind of like, oh, like there was moments where everybody was silent, but at the end everybody was kind of saying the same thing. They're like, I don't really know what the fuck I just watched. Like, because the guy, like my friends that I was with, like, you know, it's at the part where they're in the tent and then somebody's hitting against the tent. My buddy's going, "Ooh, scary." And I was like, "Yeah, right." Like, because I kind of felt the same way. I was like, "There's nothing going on."
I remember the dude I went to go see it with looked at me and was like, "This is more of a comedy than anything else." Like when they're out shopping, they're in the hotel room drinking and all this, but they're talking like that's how real people, you know, talk.
Yeah. I mean, they were the formula. They were the formula for what a lot of the movies we have now.
Yeah,
you know, it's like you show the cut up version or the like the VHS movies. You know, you get a few scenes of everything being fine, everything's cool, and then like next thing you know, it's like, oh, pandemonium, and people are tied up and chopped up and blah blah blah, and monsters are eating their faces, dogs and cats living together. You know,
necessary.
Yeah, like so. You know, they again gotta give them respect for that, but I don't know. There was the ending. The ending's cool. That last little bit when you see old dude in the corner and all that crazy shit going on in the last 10 minutes. I appreciate that, but the funny thing is though is like it's not even the one out of the three movies that I would watch that I prefer to watch. So, and it's not two. I'll tell you that much. But
well, definitely.
That's ooh, that was the second DVD that I owned.
Blair Witch 2?
Yeah. It was given to me. It was given to me. Okay. Right next to the
sure.
Well, I got it. I got
a disc jockey the weekend it came out.
Well, no. I actually got it for my birthday. A friend had got it for me, and
some friend.
Yeah, well, my first DVD, I gotta say, right. They just thought it was horror.
Halloween ends for Christmas.
They just right. Oh God, horrible. They just thought, oh, it's a horror movie, and so I was like, all right, because I was still like on the first DVD that I had, I just bought recently at that time was the Pantera home videos, so I was still flying high and watching all those. And the third movie that I bought was Natural Born Killers, so. Needless to say, Blair Witch 2 barely got watched when I owned it. I don't even own it now. Pawn shop got that a long time ago.
Regifted.
Yeah, something like that.
And so it was really an original. And man, 1999, we were eating good with original ideas. We had The Matrix, Fight Club, Star Wars Episode 1.
Well, this is kind of the catalyst. This is kind of the catalyst that kind of pushes us into the 2000s with like, the found footage type stuff with like paranormal activity and all that stuff, because you're coming off of, like the Scream era, more or less. Like that was the last big thing in my mind. And now it's like Blair Witch comes along and, on like a $30,000 budget ends up making $248 million, something like that. That's unheard of, and it's
the record. I think it's the record for the.
Yeah, I think it's the record based off of budget versus profit. Yeah. Not necessarily the most successful independent film of all time, but definitely based off of the budget and how much it ended up making.
Yeah,
and because horror always goes in cycles, it always evolves, and like Mike said, this was coming off Scream. I Know What You Did Last Summer. We're about a year away from Final Destination and all that. And this took it in a different direction. And I think the problem with like Paranormal Activity and Cloverfield, even all the ones that came after it,
but what a weird transition. You go from like you said, Scream came out before Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So you go from like stab, cut to we're just going to watch these people cry. For an hour and a half, and we're gonna see a lot of snot. Back to the snot, and then ooh, you're in a corner.
In fact, it was something different.
Yeah, because like you said, you got Scream. You got like I Know What You Did Last Summer. You fucking oh shit. What's the one?
The Sixth Sense was out by then, wasn't it? It was like
that was 99 too. Yeah.
Yeah, still a better movie.
So the PG-13 horror movie after that. I think that's kind of where The Imitators went, because it was a while before Paranormal Activity came out, and that's what really seemed to usher in the found footage format. But it seems like there was a long lull between Blair Witch and Paranormal Activity where people could have been duplicating that, but they never did, really.
Yeah. Urban Legend was the one I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot about that movie completely.
But yeah, Paranormal Activity, like when it did come out, though, like people just kind of forgot about Blair Witch. They're just like, oh, found footage, Paranormal Activity. Okay. And
that didn't even happen till what, 2007?
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
So it's still a little ways off. But I mean,
I would still prefer to watch Paranormal Activity than Blair Witch. To me, like it's just like if you love it, I don't know, like having Scream and all these like slasher films, and then having Blair Witch Project show up. I really don't understand what they were thinking.
I know.
Okay, it's like if you like Scream, you're gonna love Skinamarink. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's just like you can't. It's like, man, what a way to slow the pace. Like you have Scream and everybody's getting stabbed. It's like it's a fun movie and all good, and then it's like, oh, let's put out a movie where nothing happens except for tents being rattling, people crying like babies, because some dum-dum lost a fucking map out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, let's do that. There's a good idea. I mean, again, I respect the movie for what it is and what it has done, because again, we wouldn't have Paranormal Activity, and again, I'd much rather watch that. And there's a few. I like the found footage films, actually. Like I'm a big fan of found.
I'm picky on them.
I am too, but I like them when they're good.
Here's the thing. Like I said, there's a lot of people that have criticisms about it, but you got to respect it. Not like you were saying, what were they thinking? This is what they were thinking. You got Eduardo Sanchez and Daniel Muir, and they've only got $30,000 to make a feature film to go to Sundance. So what the hell are you going to do with 30 grand? You know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot you can do. They couldn't even afford to make a monster if they I think they had talked about it, because originally the concept was, originally the concept was that they were going to have, it was all going to be like a story about this Blair Witch and everything like that. And whenever they put out the ad and hired these actors to come in, they ended up filming, I think, like 17 hours or so of footage. They just sent them out into the woods, and each day they had like little notes that they would go to like some place and pick up, and it would just give them ideas on what their character was supposed to do that day. Like, these people they were all improv actors out of New York, and that's the crazy part, which a lot of people just don't realize, is all this is basically improv. This is a whole film. They're literally given cameras and just sent out into the woods for like a week of like 8 days of miserable filming, like being tortured. And like, we don't know what's going on. It's just, okay, we have to improv, and we'll get little notes, and it says, oh, Heather does this during the day. And then Mike and Josh don't even know what she's going to do. They just have to naturally react to it. Yeah. So, the fact, like, everybody's like, oh, this is terrible acting, but it's like, I think it's pretty good acting, because
I thought the acting was fun.
Yeah. Like, these guys have nothing to go on. Like, there's no director standing there saying, oh, I want you to do this or do that. Like, they're out in the woods. Like, they're doing all the cinematography. They're doing everything. There's nobody else. It's just those three. And I don't think anything like that has ever been done really since. I mean, you got your basic crap that like people do, like we do, like us running out the woods acting like assholes, but like anybody that's like seriously trying to make like some kind of feature film, you just don't do that. I mean, because what are you gonna do? You're paying these three people to just go out in the woods, and you don't know what they're gonna get. At the end of the day, they might give you 10 hours of garbage, and you just wasted your time. And they were just very fortunate to find these actors that did such great improv and provided them with so much interesting footage to where they were like, okay, we're going to go in a completely different direction than what we wanted to originally do with this whole Blair Witch thing, because their footage is more interesting.
Yeah, I think they got like 20 hours of footage.
Something like that. It would be cool.
I bet it took a long time to edit that.
100%.
Months and months,
Yeah.
Especially back then.
Anybody, make this clear. Anybody that goes out to make anything, any indie film or anything at all that they're passionate about, man, more power to you. 100%. I've been watching a lot of indie films here lately and shit, and some of them are actually pretty decent, and a lot of them pretty bad. But overall, still have to have respect for the craft and the taking a risk with this movie, especially because it's definitely earned its fucking place in the books. I mean, how many times have you watched a TV show where Blair Witch Project has been referenced? How many pornos have you seen that have been spoofs of the movie? I've done research. Okay, I'm not going to say the extent of it, but I will say I've done my research, and there's quite a few. So just like Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason, all that stuff. Blair Witch does have its space, its place in the horror world. But they could have done so much more. Like that's the one thing that I have an issue with this is the fact that couldn't afford to have some way, like they could have done something to make it a little bit creepier in the house. I mean, like the whole feel of the whole movie, like that whole scene's chaotic and crazy, but it doesn't cost much to like rag up some fucking clothes, fucking makeup. It was shot in fucking black and white. You can do a lot with black and white. Go back in time. Everything's been said back and forth. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, still, but in that scene, I mean, that whole thing was black and white. They could have had, they could have done the old Romero trick with the fucking black, with the blood being fucking, chocolate syrup. They could have done something just to make it a little creepier. Even if you don't got much to work with, if you're shooting in black and white, you've got a little bit more room to work. You can find household products to make somebody look like a creepy motherfucker. Like, instead of like, I'm going to run through the house over and over again. Oh, Lordy. Oh, God. Oh, you're in a corner. Are you jerking? What are you doing? Oh, jerking. No, I thought that was hilarious because that's what we all thought he was doing. In your all's movie, that I laughed at that for the simple fact that that's what everybody joked about every time I've ever watched that movie. It's like, oh, so we're jerking it again. But I just think they could have done more. Like, I get it. They only had so much money and blah, blah, blah. But household products can make something fucking creepy if you're shooting it in black and white.
But do you want any kind of visual? Because the whole film is kind of psychological. If you've ever gone camping and you're out in the woods and you hear some fucking strange noises.
Oh, it's scary.
It could be anything. It could be your first reaction. Oh, is it an animal? Is it a deer? Is it a bear? What the fuck is it? But then all of a sudden, if you're in your tent and all of a sudden, like you said, it looks like somebody just beating on their tent. Well, if you're in your fucking tent in the middle of the woods and somebody's beating on your tent and you don't know who they are, that's kind of like, okay.
That's terrifying.
I'm going to come out there and beat somebody's ass.
Pucker.
I'm going to climb out this tent and beat somebody's ass. But then you climb out the tent and there's a pile of rocks and some sticks and you're like,
It's creepy. I agree. Totally fucking creepy. I just think that if you take the viewer on a journey that long, okay, with not much substance, when it comes down to it, there really isn't much substance. I mean, okay, there's some rocks, there's some weird sticks, and they're putting those things creepy, cool, gotcha. But at least make the last fucking bit like you're in the house, this shit's going on, like you're running around fucking crazy. Which also brings me to the third one, which I think they actually did pretty good with that because that's creepy as shit. I'm just saying they could have done more. But again, the third one I think made up for that in a lot of ways. So I still give it respect, but it's one that I've always done this with. What are your all's honest opinion about this fucking shit? Like, I mean, honestly,
what?
The movie?
Yeah, like I just want to, because like I have kind of a weird respect for it, but I also I've never known if I've actually liked this movie.
Like I said though, like I'm really picky when it comes to like found footage shit, and this one, I don't know, it was because it's like when it came out, like how young I was and how we all thought it was or whatever, but to this one, this is like one of the ones I do like. Like a lot of it, like there's a lot more shakiness in this one than some, except for like maybe like what was the Romero one, Diary of the Dead or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That shit gave me a headache.
Yeah.
But like this one was tolerable. But then like Mike was saying, that for just 3 people just being out in the woods making up some crazy shit, like you could see how this is almost believable. Like it's filmed perfect.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You're gonna have 2 different types of people. And I always go back to like the wrestling industry. And in professional wrestling, they got a term called kayfabe. And I feel like the Blair Witch Project is kayfabe at its finest, because you got these improv actors that are selling it like it's completely real. And they do a great job. And there's 2 different types of people. If there's a certain type of person that'll watch professional wrestling, they'll go, this shit is fake. This is fucking stupid. I'm not going to watch it, which is fine. That's your opinion. But if you're a fan of professional wrestling, obviously it's scripted or staged or whatever term you want to use. Fake is insulting to the performers, but you know that it's a performance. And if you immerse yourself in that performance, if you go along with it and you go along with the story and get emotionally involved and everything like that, you can have a really great experience and love it. And that's the beauty of it, of the art. And I feel it's the same way with this movie. If you just go along for the ride and kind of immerse yourself, and you don't say, oh, this is fake, dumb bullshit, and kind of go along with it. And you, like I said, the psychological nature where, you don't know what's out there. It's all in the viewer's mind to say, okay, is it an animal? Is it another person just messing with them? Is it something supernatural? And it allows you to kind of just paint your own picture. And I think that's kind of the beauty of it. And like I said, you have 2 different types of people, and whichever way you lean, that's fine. But for me, I just like I said, that opening weekend, especially if you experienced it and you thought that it had some kind of realism to it, then it changes your perception.
I think it might just be as I got older.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like as I got younger, like I did like it a lot more when I was younger. So that probably has something to do with it as well.
I mean, the chick is annoying when she's just sitting there crying about everything. But
I mean, as you get older, that gets annoying as fuck too. But
yeah, but it's still a fucked up story.
What do you think, Ryan? If you could change something about this film, what would you change? Would you do something like more practical, like Chuck was saying, or what?
Well, I think like Chuck was saying, I think it works better in the third one because you do have some things that you actually see in it. It's still psychological, but at the same time, you do see some real grotesque imagery in the background and things like that, which I think add to it. But one thing I'll say in the Blair Witch Project's defense is I think it works better if you watch it by yourself versus watching it in a crowd, because I think when you have a more intimate view with it, that you're able to more get into the aesthetic of the movie more than when you're in a crowd and you feel people aren't into it. Everybody is into it, maybe into it, but in my case, like I see, people were kind of just turned up by it, so that affected my own initial impression. But watching it at home later on DVD, I found more to appreciate in it.
Yeah,
but
and that's the sad thing, is that it's gotten so much hate over the years, for the 2 major complaints is just fake bullshit, or like Chad said, the shaky camera footage that people hate on for the most part. Those are the 2 biggest complaints I always hear, and it kind of gets pushed aside. But I don't know. It just deserves more recognition, I think, and especially the behind the scenes stuff that a lot of people don't know about with these actors and how it kind of turned their life upside down. Because like we talked about, they were kind of pushed, into the dark, where they're like, hey, Artisan ended up picking up this film at Sundance in '99 for $1.1 million, which was a steal. And they told the actors, like, hey, don't even show up to the Cannes Film Festival. We want you guys to kind of stay in hiding, because we're going to market this thing like you guys are really missing. They kind of, I would imagine they piggybacked it off the same idea with Cannibal Holocaust, because those actors got paid to be like missing, or just off the grid for like a year. And then I think it was something like, there was something like where a judge actually had to, like, these people are considered missing. And then a judge was like, they had to come in and face the judge and say, no, we're alive. It was just a movie. But it was the same kind of marketing ideas later. And I think that's what they were going for. And a lot of people will get hate on that too, because, they're like, oh, we got tricked somehow. Like, oh, you duped us. You tried to tell us this was kind of real found footage, and it's just bullshit. So I think, like, again, it's like wrestling. If you grew up in the 80s and you thought wrestling was real or whatever, and then the 90s roll around and you find out that it's not, then you're kind of like, fuck that shit. And I feel a similar vibe with this film.
That makes sense, actually. Like, I go on.
I was saying, to me, this is one of those situations where less is more.
Agreed. Yeah. No, I still don't, I'm not hating it. I'm never. I hate the second one, but like, I don't hate this movie. I don't know. It's just crazy to me, like, how a movie can spawn so much. Because it has a cult following now, But going back to somebody had mentioned the MTV documentary.
Yeah, Smack, Scene Snobs.
I actually found, because I recorded that when it came on, and I actually found my VHS that I recorded the other day of it. That goes back to the marketing of it. They promoted that fucking thing so well, to where, I mean, it did, it makes sense when people think that it was real and whatever, because they had all the search for the Blair Witch and all this weird shit that was coming on. Hell, they had Scooby-Doo spoofs of it on Cartoon Network. And if you go on YouTube, you can actually find all of them in a row. But it's like, it was their Halloween Scooby-Doo-a-thon thing. And in between, like, they would play these little Blair Witch spoofs, but it was Scooby-Doo, and it was actually perfect. But it also goes back to me talking about how it's kind of earned its place. You hear it referenced all the time, that kind of shit.
It's old man Withers from the amusement park.
I got away with it too. Those meddling kids.
But now going back to what I was saying, there's a lot of stuff that people don't know about that went on behind the scenes. The actors kind of went into hiding, and at the same time, what up? They lost out on a lot of jobs. Like you, a lot of times in the movie business, you got to strike while the iron's hot. And these three actors, were basically working straight Joe jobs whenever this film came out and was on top. Like, there was people that were like, hey, you're on the cover of Newsweek. What are you serving food for? And it's like, hey, I didn't get paid anything for this. Like, they only got paid, I think, like $500 for like a week's work or something like that. And they signed a contract with Haxon, which was Eduardo Sanchez and those guys' company, to where, if by some chance it did make over $1 million, they were guaranteed 1% of the gross or whatever. And so then whenever Haxon ended up selling it to Artisan at Sundance, then they got $1.1 million. The actors only ended up getting about $10,000-$15,000 out of that deal, because that's 1%. And it didn't really do anything. Like, their careers didn't take off. You would think that these guys are in the biggest independent film of 1999. It would lead somewhere. But if you look, Heather Donahue didn't really do a whole lot after this. Or Mike. Josh Leonard has been in the business for a while, and he's done a lot of stuff. But it didn't really propel them to any kind of superstardom, which you would think, hey, these guys are huge stars because they've been in this big horror movie. but it didn't, and it ended up having the opposite effect, where these, it affected them greatly to where they were struggling financially.
They're fighting it now.
Well, yeah, that's a part of it. After
the third one, they mentioned their names and stuff to it, and
that was the other issue where they used their real names in the film. So now you've got a whole other can of worms where your likeness and everything is being used, and if there's no agreement there or anything like that. After the second one, they actually sued Artisan and won back in like 2003 because Lionsgate ended up buying them, and they sued, and they ended up getting like a $300K settlement per person for not them using their likeness or whatever in the second film. And then whenever Lionsgate ended up coming around back in 2016 and doing the new film, they wanted to use their stuff again. Like if you've seen the Blair Witch from 2016, she's just referred to as Heather. The sister is referred to as Heather. They never say Heather Donahue, and that's because of the agreement that Lionsgate had with Heather Donahue, who oddly enough ended up legally changing her name to Ree Hance back in right around that same time, because she just wanted to distance herself from the Blair Witch Project, because she had used her real name, and then it's just getting used in perpetuity for this whole franchise. So it's like, hey, she's a pot farmer now. She does podcasting and everything like that. So she's like, hey, I'm just going to change my name and kind of get away from all this, because it's kind of been a nightmare. She said that's like one of the biggest regrets she has in her whole life is using her real name in the Blair Witch Project.
She had no problem using her real name at Scarefest recently. They've been trying to they've been making the rounds here lately. Trying to get the the word out that they're kind of being fucked over with some things.
Let's get these people paid.
Yeah, man, they totally deserve it, 100%. Yeah, it's so weird though. I mean, because you said what, 25 years?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Like, because when I was at Scarefest and I saw them, and it was just like, I don't know, she looks so like it's just weird how time has gone by so quick, and it's like you see these people you haven't seen them forever, except for when they were in their early 20s or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, she's in her 50s now.
Yeah, like it's just so weird seeing her, because I almost didn't recognize them because they were off. They had a lot of people at their tables from what I could tell, but they look totally different now. And I don't know, for some reason she reminded me of never mind. I can't remember her fucking name, but yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's all weird to me how old this movie actually is at this point, and
how old we are is what you're saying.
yeah. 41 comes in January, and I'm still trying to figure out how I'm 40.
And you're the young one out of the group.
I know, right?
Youngest one with curls. Here's a story of a man named Nasty.
And we even got boxes. We should totally do a fucking little Brady Bunch episode.
Right. Yeah. So
I didn't know about all that with the court cases and all that.
They've been
fucked over pretty bad.
Yeah, they've been fighting this their whole life, and it's caused a lot of issues. I think she at one point was even like thinking about killing herself, because she would just it derailed her life. Like she quit acting in like 2008, I think, and it's just so much shit where it's like what did we do? There was so much more that they deserved out of the success of this film. I get it. Like, okay, you don't expect the film to do what it did, but at the same time, you gotta, give. I think fucking Artisan, after it crossed the 100 million mark with the original film, they ended up sending each of the actors fruit baskets, and they were like, that was the point that they knew they were fucked. It's like, come on, dude, $100 million. Like,
when you get the fruit basket,
it's a slap to the face.
Yeah.
Like, God damn, dude, what a kick in the asshole that is.
So yeah, these actors definitely deserve the credit and the dues for what they did. And I feel like they're starting to warm up. Like you said, Chuck, they were at Scarefest and they've been hitting the convention circuit. She's gone back to using her name because, that's how people know her. And I feel like more people are starting to warm up to it. They're showing some love to Blair Witch and these actors because, they totally deserve it. Even if they didn't end up going on to be major stars or anything, their contribution to horror and film should be recognized, and they should definitely get what they do deserve financially and professionally.
100%.
Agreed.
Yeah,
get some paid.
What was your all's opinion about the third one though?
I never saw it.
I haven't seen it.
Really?
I just watched it today for the first time, and I didn't mind it. I feel like it dragged. Like, okay, obviously the sequence, like in the first one, like it's only like about the last 10 minutes or so, I think, that they're actually at the house or whatever. But like the sequence leading up to the house in this one, it dragged on a lot longer. And at some points I was like, come on, let's just get there, because it's just running and screaming, and it's like, okay, but the visually, I think it looked good. It felt very similar to the first one as far as story goes and everything like that. But as far as kind of like reimagining it or whatever for 2016, I think they did an all right job. It's not something that I'd go back and like chill and watch all the time, but it was worth a watch.
Well, it's actually considered to be a part 3. It's not really supposed to be a reboot or anything like that.
Right.
My main thing was the last part of that movie. Because I actually generally do like this movie. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be some shit, and I actually didn't mind it. But it's just that last part. That last part is what made me just love the fuck out of it. Just because it did show, because like it freaks me out. That part freaks me out. Part of the same reason that Barbarian freaked me out. Like something about weird, deformed women. Coming at you in the middle of the night is terrifying. And I mean, I've got some exes, but they in the third one they have all the aspects of everything. They have like the storms going on outside, and then you have like everybody's running from room to room to get away from this witch. And I don't know, I like it a lot, and I kind of hope they don't make any more. I think that it's actually at a good pace. I think that
too late. Watch the third one.
Did it go into theaters or was it straight to video?
It was in theaters briefly.
Theaters. I don't remember it. I don't remember it coming out at all.
Wasn't Blumhouse supposed to do a remake of this shit?
Oh god.
We won't talk about Blumhouse.
Yeah, they announced it back in April. That was one of the things that Heather Donahue was pissed off about. Is like, they were actually getting some kind of headway with Lionsgate and kind of getting some respect from these studios there after the 2016 one. Yeah. and then Blumhouse comes along and is like, oh, we're doing it over again. So they definitely, all the actors want to be part of this one as far as having a say and whether or not their likenesses or their characters are used or whatever. So we'll see. I don't know what direction they're trying to go with it, but
I mean, Blumhouse wastes enough money making movies, so they should just pay them.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, here's a bunch of money. This movie's gonna suck. Just so you know, we don't put out anything good anymore. They get together in a big conference room, and they're all like, okay, how can we make the worst possible horror movies that people who don't like horror movies are gonna love? How do we do this? We're going to make movies that are so bad, but yet keep us from going out of business. How do we do this? Yeah, fuck them.
They get a big opening weekend. Unfortunately,
I was going to point out about part 3. Part 3 was like a secret movie. They made it without announcing that they were doing it, and they put out like a fake trailer for it, which was scenes from the movie. But at the end of it called it The Woods. A month or two after that they revealed it was actually a Blair Witch sequel.
I forgot about that.
They put it in theaters in September, and I think they would have done much better if they waited till October to put it out. But Yeah, it was Adam Wingard, who's now doing the King Kong and Godzilla movies, but he and Simon Barrett did You're Next and some other movies that were pretty cool. So they're good people to give it to. I think I wish they had got to do more and follow up on some of the ideas they set up in it, but I really enjoyed the third one.
Yeah, a lot of people give the third one a lot of shit. A lot of the diehards aren't too keen with it. My buddy Chris, who's commented a few times, always check your candy. He's a huge fan. He loves the fucking the movie. It's fantastic. It's amazing. But you know, a lot of people gave it a lot of shit because they didn't want to. They're like, oh well, and a lot of people did think it was a remake, and that was a problem too because a lot of people didn't realize that it was supposed to be a third part to it. I didn't realize it was actually supposed to be a third part until I talked to Chris, and he told me, he was like, no, actually, it's not supposed to be, a reboot. It's supposed to be like the third part of it. And I'm like, okay, well, they could have thought of a better name. But you know, but other than that, like I really enjoyed it.
Now they just that's the trend now. They just read the title though. Like the Thing is actually a prequel. Halloween is a sequel. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a sequel, and a remake, and they're just recycling the titles. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so they're putting the in something that didn't originally have the in it. They're like, okay, this is different now.
Yeah, it's different because we took the out.
We took the out, or we added the in, and we added a.
At least they didn't call it Bloodline.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then we put Bloodlines at the end of it. There we go. We got all the movies you need, all the makings of something bad.
We're gonna have to do a Bloodline night, and then just do all the Bloodline films.
The Blair Witch Project.
God, that would be a horrible.
Blair Witch Resurrection.
That'd be a fun bad mouthing night. That'd be a great shit talking night. I'm down. I'll watch those movies just for that. the death of the Bloodline films. That's what we need to do. I think that'd be cool. But whatever, we'll talk later.
Watch out for the Minnesota Chainsaw Massacre.
He's traveling, folks.
That's a tagline. That's on the box.
It's him on the empty road with the chainsaw. The tagline's right at the bottom,
and he's got a little knapsack.
This town loves prime meat.
We gotta film that shit now. He's traveling.
Hell yeah.
That would be a great little fun film to do, like the Sawyers in like an RV traveling across country.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, Bubba, go clean the shitter.
Mix Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 with the Millers, meet the fake family traveling with pot.
We're the Millers.
Just mix it with that, and then because I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. So you take any of those characters and put them in any situation, I'm down. Especially put them in an RV.
Do that mashup. Do that mashup. Imagine the Sawyers going down to Mexico to meet with the cartel to pick up drugs, and now you got the cartel versus the serial killer family.
I tell you what I'll do. I'll give you some prime meat for some cocaine. Goddamn brother broke the goddamn door again.
I think it was him that I think they had just mentioned in the comments the Rustin Parr house, and the house that actually they used in the first film was called the Griggs house out in Granite, Maryland. And not too long after the movie came out, they ended up demolishing that house, so it doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. So if you're a fan of Blair Witch and you want to come out to here to Maryland and try to find it, you're not going to find it. It's gone. They tried to fight it, and they lost. The state or the county or whatever decided, hey, we got to demolish it. It was in bad shape anyway. And it was one of those things where people were heading out there to check out the house, and it's like, oh, you have a bunch of people walking around this old house. It's a liability, and they said we're getting rid of it, which is a shame, because you could definitely have turned it into something. And especially nowadays, they have tours and stuff that they do out there. There's a group they call it's called the Blair Witch Experience, and I think they do it every October, where they take you out camping out in the woods here around Burkittsville and everything like that. So because the film was filmed out here in Maryland. Burkittsville, Seneca Creek State Park in Gaithersburg, Patapsco Valley State Park, Ellicott City. So you can go and visit those state parks and kind of see. There's bits and pieces, like where they interviewed people from the town. I think you can stay at the same hotel in the same room, and of course the cemetery is still there. I actually stopped by there. Whenever I was, if you watch the short at the beginning, I had a little shot of the Burkittsville sign. So I stopped by the cemetery a couple weeks ago, and then I got a little footage, just real quick here. And, obviously they're not going to do too many big changes to a cemetery, but you can still tell. Can you cue that up, Dave?
Over here. Where's it at? He's not used to
he's
not used to
everything.
the new format yet. There we go.
There you go. So, like this shot right here, like if you go back and watch the original, that's where I think it's Mike is holding the slate or whatever, and then he bites into it, and you can see that Arnold grave. So that's like one of the first things I noticed there. But like, if you take a look here. It looks pretty much the same. Like there's even like a pile of dirt down there where, if you go back and watch the footage of her, or there's the first night of filming, she's standing there, like right there is that pile of dirt, So all that stuff is still there. So you can go check that out. Head out to Burkittsville. So it's a cool little filming location thing if you're into that sort of thing. And
oh yeah,
very cool. And I just want to say real quick, because I'm old and I forget things, so I want to mention this now. We want to thank all our new subscribers that just signed up tonight. And if you haven't, please do so, because we are 2 subs away from hitting 500.
All right, let's get there.
Appreciate you guys. We got 8 subs today.
And we talked about doing a 500 subscriber episode, but we weren't ever sure when we were going to hit it, if we ever would. But you guys are showing us some love, man.
Appreciate you.
We've been trapped inside this video store for years, and you guys are all we have. It's free. It only takes a second.
I thought we had
sons of bitches.
I thought we had each other. What happened to the brotherhood?
What happened to Whitman? We were doing inventory back in January. We haven't seen him.
I forgot he was even alive.
Whitman
character.
Whitman fell into a sinkhole when he was in the back doing a cleanup.
Is that what you call her?
And so now he is living his dream, taking photos of good looking women and
wasn't expecting that.
Doing that shit. He's around. He'll be back on at some point. So.
The first after going back and watching this, I almost thought that person in the corner at the end of the film was Michael Stipe.
Is he losing his religion?
That's me in the corner. That's me in the spot.
Don't put that song in my head.
I'm gonna play it.
Yes, I've had the Brady Bunch theme in my head for the last 20 minutes, and now I'm going
to. Now you get REM. Good for us.
Dave's losing his Brady Bunch.
Ooh.
So yeah,
what
we got here?
That's our girl.
Look at that, we're loved.
Yeah, we'll have to do a collab one day.
We love you.
The new folks, but different.
As Tamara and Michelle, go over and check out their channel. I think it's on Michelle Emilio's page on YouTube. They do spoof videos as well, so they're in the same category as us, just doing fun, silly shit because we like it.
We'll have to collab and box with each other.
That's it.
That's right.
I would love that.
Box together.
Hell yeah.
All right. So final thoughts on the Blair Witch Project on this Halloween special.
It deserves a watch.
Good movie, I think.
It deserves a watch. I think that it's one that it's one that you could if you got kids that are into scary stuff and whatever, you can watch it with them as well. It's again, I've always been like this with it, but I have a lot of respect for the movie and what it is. So it definitely deserves a watch. And so does part 3. But fuck that second one because it's a piece of garbage.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that one. Not even going to touch it.
Not even going to touch it.
Chris says, "Do the plate, Mike, or I guess Mike."
Not me. I didn't do any modeling.
Too many mics.
Okay.
Said it was the first time he ever got paid royalties on Blair Witch Project merch.
Shit.
Michael C. Williams.
Yeah,
Good for him.
Yeah, a lot of people made a lot of money off this movie except for the actors.
Yeah, the ones that fucking made it.
And if anytime these guys, like Chuck said, they were hitting the convention circuit now, man, I'd love to meet these guys. I'd throw down some money to see.
I would too.
Well, it was more the studios getting the money. Even Eduardo Sanchez and those guys, they made out, but the studios are the ones that cashed in.
Yeah.
I would have met him, but I was meeting Clive Barker.
It happens a lot.
Good. Understand?
Yeah.
But no, it's one of those films that it has that place in history, and it's always going to be remembered for that, if anything. And like I've said throughout the show, the actors, everything that went into this, just demands some type of respect. And whether or not you like it or not, or it's not scary, you're not your cup of tea, that's fine. I get it. But you got to give props to what they did and what it became, because it's undeniable. You turn 30,000 into 248 million. You're doing something right.
Yeah.
So, if I would love to get Heather or Ray, or I don't know what she goes by now, one of the actors on the show sometime, because I would love to talk to them more about their situation and see what else it is. So, we might try to hook that up, in the future, but definitely props to those guys. Much love. If you ever see this, at least I have mad respect for you.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I have mad respect for what you did. And I think you're the shit, and you definitely deserve everything that's come to you.
Agreed. 100%.
Brian, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts would be it's a highly influential movie. Almost kind of single-handedly propelled an entire subgenre that I enjoyed a bit, the found footage movies. Innovative idea, not only in the subgenre it helped create, but in the marketing and promotion and just kind of world building it did away from the actual movie are all things that it was kind of first to do that with. And it does blow my mind to think that they were just having to lay low after that movie, and then when it comes out to be a big hit, there they are doing their regular day jobs, and somebody could be like, "Hey, I just saw you in the biggest movie in the country," and then be like, "Well, thank you. Can you stand aside so I can mop up your jizz now?"
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they said that Heather's mom actually received sympathy cards from people because they really believed that something happened to Heather. They weren't, the people in the community weren't in the know. They just saw this stuff on the news and everything like that. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you hear what happened to Heather Donahue? Oh, that poor girl.
She was taken by the witch.
Yeah.
I told her you shouldn't listen to that Marilyn Manson.
And then kind of piggybacking off what Ryan was saying, not only was it influential for other films, but filmmakers. Even if you're not in the horror genre or anything like that, for an aspiring director or anything, cinematographer, any of those guys, you can see that, hey, you don't have to be part of the big machine in order to make something that is beloved and successful. You can do it on a low budget. Just the same thing with Kevin Smith and Clerks. Low budget film, right around $30,000 to make that as well. It inspires a new generation of filmmakers to go out there and say, "Hey, I can do it too." So, more power to them. It's it's a great flick. As far as that goes, it might not be the scariest movie of all time. Some people say it is, but debatable.
Yeah, the '90s was a great time for independent filmmakers. You had Robert Rodriguez, Quentin Tarantino, Kevin Smith, all coming out making these low budget movies. That Spike made it all had this movie certainly has its place in history, and you can't ever take that away from it.
Look at all the love we're getting. Look at all
I know, this is wonderful.
Well, let's set something up here.
Yeah, we got to get out to some more conventions. They haven't been as good lately, so we haven't made the trek. But one of these times we'll get out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's great to get all this love tonight on our Halloween special.
Oh man, because we love Halloween and we love you guys.
I almost shit whenever I was like, "This is the third Halloween special." I was like,
"It is.
We've been doing this for 3 years.
130 episodes
stuck in this goddamn store forever."
130 and count.
I'm still
haven't had a customer longer than that. Anyway,
Chris said that it's the scariest ending of all time in his opinion. I would have to say that it is a creepy ending in a film, especially if it's the first time watching. Like it is, if you're not aware of everything going on with it. It does, yeah. So it definitely is one of them. I wouldn't say the one, but we'll talk later.
No, I mean I get it. I think my buddy Joe said the same thing. It's like one of the scariest movies of all time, and like I said, it's completely debatable. But I get it. It's like the psychological stuff. Whenever I did Villisca, I think I when I mentioned this before was that. I'm not sitting in Villisca thinking, oh, there's going to be some kind of ghost or some bullshit that comes along and gets us. If anything, I'm more worried about real life stuff that's going to happen, where it's like, oh, I'm in an old murder house and some crazy fuck might break in the middle of the night and try to kill us because he wants to be famous or he's trying to, be a copycat killer or whatever, And that was the thing with Blair Witch. Like, you don't see anything. And it could be anything, it could be some old guy that's just hunting these people in the woods and, it's dark and gets them separated and then takes them out one by one, So like I said, it's completely up to your imagination. And if you have a vivid imagination, you can go in any kind of direction with that.
Yes. I can totally dig that. Yeah.
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 Wow.
Yeah, boy.
I can't believe this Halloween special is almost over.
No, right?
But here we are. But before we go, it is now time for our random clip of the week. And tonight, on the special night, we have programmed our random clip generator to
Ron,
give
you're gonna love this.
A fun. I programmed it for a fun Halloween movie, is what I did.
But Halloween.
Yeah, so I don't know what it's going to be, but I will say the last time I tried to program it for something, you might remember, I programmed it to give us the most American movie of all time, and it gave us Jackass. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to. Yeah, we watched.
I don't know.
In the nuts.
When I think fun Halloween, I'm thinking Ernest Scared Stupid. So I'm hoping.
Yeah. How about a bumper sandwich, booger lips?
All right, let's
here goes nothing.
Let's see what it gave us.
Fuck it.
Ew.
Dad.
I want to see the whole Mamushka.
So I love those movies. I don't care what anybody says. Those are good ones.
Oh, we should do those.
Mamushka, yeah.
We should do that dance.
We should talk. We should actually do the Addams Family movie. One of my favorite moments in Addams Family is one that Chris will agree with because I think it's his too. Is when they call Gomez a lady killer or whatever the hell is, and he goes acquitted.
Raul Julia was awesome in that movie. He killed.
That was his favorite. It was his favorite role. Was Gomez Adams.
He looked like he was having fun.
Yeah, man.
You know, just in that scene right there, you saw that twinkle in his eye. Right?
He was a great actor.
Clearly not Raul Julia and Christopher Lloyd, but that's okay.
Yeah, he was great, man. He really was.
We're gonna give a free plug to Burger King for their Adams Family menu that's currently going on right now. So if you want to go out and eat a fucking purple burger, head to Burger King.
I think I might have to go eat a purple burger.
Yeah, your shit might look a little weird, but
my shit looks kind of weird anyway. So,
damn, isn't it tasty?
Sean Clark did a review on it. He said it tastes like a Whopper.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
makes sense.
Bad,
but boy, are they exquisite.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Remember that time they had that black bun that they used A1?
There was nothing attractive about that at all. It just looked like it was all burnt. Like let me tell you what that looked like. Have you ever gotten drunk as fuck and you had I don't know, French fries in the oven and you fall asleep and then you wake up with the fire alarm going off and then you open up the stove and you realize it's fire alarm. It's been 4.5 hours. And now the fries have turned to a black plastic of some sort. That happened to me once, and that's what those burgers look like. There was nothing attractive about those at all. The Nightmare Whopper, yeah. Even though it's just food coloring, I still don't. It looks like it might have problems. I don't know. And Burger King. I feel like it's more, it's easier to get away with putting nasty shit in your burgers when everything is black. So you can't tell, between a loogie and mustard. I don't know. I'm actually a fan of Burger King. I'm just gonna throw that out there real quick.
Burger King probably gonna ask us to do a.
Yeah,
you're fired.
Shout out Joan Cusack. Adam's Family Values.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to do that.
Yeah, right. I'd like to give a shout out to my dad, Fester. My whole life, I have been. If I got rid of this, and I could totally just be him 24/7.
You guys had the chin off. You gotta go completely hairless.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for that or not. I look horrible with that facial hair. I have no chin, so you know.
Well, again, we get a little piece, a little more and more of Chuck's backstory every week, and we just found out about the Whopper and the fire alarm tonight. But since Burger King certainly will never pay us now for doing an ad, we do have these other ads to run, so let's get to it. Getting paid.
Hey everybody, Laser Trading Company is on YouTube. See some of the videos from Mike's travels and experiences. If you haven't already, please head over and subscribe. 7,800 and growing. Thank you all. Laser Trading Company is also available on eBay with various merchandise and collectibles. Hundreds of great gift ideas. That's Laser Trading Company. Laser Trading Company. Laser Trading Company. You know him from Bastard Sons of a Judas Goat, Nasty Nation, Graveyard Talk, and the video Store Clerks Podcast. He is the creator of Stoner Gore. Jack Nasty! And if you're looking for the latest in extreme horror, head over to Amazon.com. Look up Chuck Nasty, and the following titles are available. Along with the latest album, Decay of Man, from Bastard Sons of a Judas Goat, available on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube now.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Please buy my product.
Ryan, sir, we thank you so much for stopping by the store. Of course, you are welcome anytime, my friend. And please, folks out there, while you're at it, don't forget, check out Ryan's work. He has a ton of them. The link is in the description. He has his own work. He's done stuff for other anthologies, and he's done a ton of other podcasts and interviews. We certainly invite you to check that out as well. Show our man some love.
Do you have any other plugs that you would like to put out there tonight, Ryan? Anything
working on or anything coming out?
Go to the audience.
Well, first, thank you again for having me on the show. It's been a good time here. Currently, I'm finishing up a collaboration with Brian Smith, a sci-fi / horror book we've done that has some pretty crazy gore in it. My last book was Transcendental Mutilation, a collection of short stories and Splatterpunk Award winner. And you guys mentioned wrestling. My book with Lucas Mangum, Pandemonium, is like an unofficial sequel to Demons 1 and 2, and it takes place at an extreme underground wrestling event. So there's a lot of wrestling illusions in it. And then The Night Stalkers with Chris Triana is gore and death metal. And
I really want to read that one.
Yeah, for slashers, Reincarnage and Reincursion, my slasher series with Jason Taverner, which are books kind of like creating our own Jason Voorhees, essentially. So lots of extreme gore in all of them. And then, of course, the first book I put out, Genital Grinder, collection of short stories.
A classic, a must read.
Yeah, and I just literally just went over on Amazon.com, typed in Ryan Harding, Harding. You can find his books there, folks. Check him out.
I also got to throw out that you did Header 3 with my Lord and Savior Edward Lee. Got to throw that there as well.
That's right. I got to share the drill and Header and contribute to the obscenity of that series, which was a great honor, of course.
No, dude, I couldn't imagine. No, that's so awesome.
Yeah, extreme. So cool. We always like to see when a member of the community, the horror community, goes on and does some really cool shit. So we're always rooting for you.
I'm still trying to get these guys to want to talk about Header, the film, sometime on here, if at all possible. Have you seen that one, Ron?
Yes, I'd seen it years ago, and then we also watched it at the most recent Killer Con with Lee on a Zoom call while we were watching it.
Yeah, I saw that he did that. I was incredibly jealous. That would have been awesome to see and to hear his commentary on that shit. But yeah, just want to throw that out again. Header would be a cool one to watch sometime. But whatever.
Max Headroom, is that one? Is that what you were saying? No. Bring me the head of Alfredo Garcia.
Header. We've talked about this, Mike. I've told you what a header is.
His great header.
Yeah.
Oh God. Head of the movie. Talk about a romance movie.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
That says romance more.
Head of State, starring Chris Rock.
All right, we're getting out of here. We thank you so much for joining us. Again, we thank you, all our new subscribers. Welcome to the fam. Yes, sorry.
Watch my hair.
All right, but yeah,
my hair.
We're getting out of here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We love you guys. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Next week, next Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern. We are your clerks again. Happy Halloween! And we'll see you next.